My boss spent 2 years telling me I was like a daughter to her. She mentored me, promoted me, and held my hand through the worst year of my life when my father passed away. Then I accidentally got added to a group chat where she called my grief pathetic, mocked my father's death, and bragged about using my vulnerability to keep me working overtime without extra pay. So I forwarded the entire conversation to all 300 employees in our company. Now she's threatening to sue me, and half my family thinks I went too far. Before I tell you the full story, I really need your opinion on this one, because I genuinely cannot tell if I'm the villain here. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like so you don't miss any of our workplace drama stories. Now, let me take you back to where this nightmare began. I started working at Morrison and Associates, a mid-sized marketing firm, about 4 years ago. I was fresh out of college with my communications degree, eager to prove myself and absolutely terrified of failing. The job market had been brutal, and landing this position felt like winning the lottery. My starting salary was modest, but I didn't care. I had my foot in the door. My direct supervisor was a woman named Patricia. Patricia was 52 years old, had been with the company for 18 years, and ran our department of 12 people with what I initially thought was a perfect balance of professionalism and warmth. She had this way of making you feel special, like you were her favorite, like she saw something in you that nobody else could see. Looking back now, I realized that was her superpower and her weapon. For my first 2 years, Patricia was everything I could have wanted in a mentor. She stayed late to help me perfect my presentations. She advocated for me to be included in important client meetings. She even invited me to her home for Thanksgiving when she found out I couldn't afford to fly back to see my family. I genuinely loved this woman. I thought of her as the work mom I never knew I needed. Then, in March of last year, my father was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The doctors gave him 3 to 6 months. I was devastated. My father and I had always been close. He was a retired high school history teacher who spent his weekends volunteering at the local library and his evenings calling me just to hear about my day. He was my biggest cheerleader, my loudest supporter, and suddenly he was dying. I went to Patricia immediately, tears streaming down my face, barely able to get the words out. She held me in her office for almost an hour. She told me to take all the time I needed. She said family comes first, always. She promised she would cover for me, protect my position, make sure nothing fell through the cracks while I was dealing with this tragedy. And she did. At least that's what I thought she was doing. Over the next 4 months, I worked remotely as much as possible to be near my father in his final weeks. When I couldn't work, Patricia assured me she was handling my accounts. She texted me encouraging messages almost every day. She sent flowers to the hospital. When my father finally passed away in July, she was one of the first people I called, and she cried with me on the phone. After the funeral, I threw myself into work. It was my coping mechanism. Patricia seemed to understand this, and she gently increased my workload, telling me it would help keep my mind busy. She was right, in a way. Working 12-hour days left little room for grief to consume me. I didn't realize then that she was exploiting my pain. By November, I was handling not only my own accounts, but also covering for 2 other team members who had left and hadn't been replaced. Patricia kept promising that new hires were coming, that relief was on the way, but somehow it never materialized. She also kept telling me that my dedication hadn't gone unnoticed, that big things were coming for me, that a senior account manager position was being created with my name on it. I believed every word. The group chat incident happened on a random Tuesday in January. I was sitting at my desk eating a sad desk salad when my phone buzzed with a message notification. It was from a number I didn't recognize, but when I opened it, I saw it was a group chat with 7 participants. Most of the names I recognized as other department heads and senior staff members. At the top of the chat, someone had clearly added me by mistake, probably fat-fingering my number instead of whoever they meant to include. At first, I almost closed it. I figured it was some boring administrative discussion I'd been accidentally looped into. But then I saw my name. Patricia had written, and I quote, "Sarah's still working 60-hour weeks and hasn't asked for a raise once. The dead dad thing was honestly a gift. She's so desperate to distract herself that she'll do anything I ask. I haven't had to lift a finger on the Henderson account in months." My blood ran cold. I couldn't breathe. I scrolled up. The messages went back months. They were jokes about my grief. One person had written that they were surprised I even came back to work so quickly, and Patricia had responded with a laughing emoji saying, "I told her we were like family and she totally bought it. She has no idea I'm planning to take credit for the Henderson rebrand at the quarterly review." Another message from Patricia read, "The best part is she thinks I'm mentoring her. I've been telling her about this fake senior position for months. As long as I dangle that carrot, she keeps running on the hamster wheel. Corporate won't approve new hires, so I need warm bodies. She's the perfect useful idiot." There was more, so much more. They mocked the way I cried in meetings when something reminded me of my father. They called me pathetic for sending Patricia a thank you card after she came to the funeral. One of the senior directors had written, "She really has no one else, does she? That's kind of sad." And Patricia responded, "That's what makes her easy to control." I sat at my desk for what felt like hours, just staring at my phone.
My hands were shaking. My vision was blurring with tears. Everything I thought I knew about the past 2 years was crumbling around me. The woman I had loved like a second mother had been using me, mocking me, exploiting the worst tragedy of my life for her own convenience. Something inside me snapped. I didn't think, I didn't plan, I didn't consult anyone. I just acted. I took screenshots of every single message in that group chat, going back 8 months. Then I opened my work email and composed a new message. I added the company-wide distribution list, all 300 employees, including the CEO and the entire executive team. I attached every screenshot. My subject line read, "The real Patricia Morrison." I hit send. The aftermath was immediate and chaotic. Within 15 minutes, Patricia came storming out of her office, her face the color of a ripe tomato. She was screaming my name across the entire floor. Other employees were gathered in clusters, whispering, staring at their phones. I could see some people looking at me with shock, others with what might have been sympathy or admiration. Patricia didn't even make it to my desk before HR intercepted her. I was escorted to a conference room where I sat for 3 hours while various executives came and went, asking me questions, reviewing the screenshots, making phone calls. By the end of the day, Patricia had been placed on administrative leave pending an investigation. 2 of the other senior staff members in the group chat were also suspended. But here's where it gets complicated. Patricia hired a lawyer. She's claiming I violated her privacy by sharing private messages, that I intentionally accessed a conversation I wasn't meant to see, and that she's caused her severe emotional distress and damaged her professional reputation. Her lawyer sent me a cease and desist letter threatening a lawsuit for defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress. My company's legal team has told me that while they're standing behind me regarding the workplace issues, they cannot represent me personally if Patricia follows through with civil action. I'm now potentially facing thousands of dollars in legal fees to defend myself. My own family is split. My mother thinks I did the right thing and that Patricia deserved to be exposed, but my sister says I should have gone to HR privately instead of humiliating Patricia in front of the entire company. She says what I did was cruel and vindictive, that she didn't just seek justice, she sought revenge. She asked me how I would feel if her worst private moments were shared with hundreds of people. Some of my coworkers have reached out to thank me. Apparently Patricia had been doing similar things to other people for years and nobody ever had proof until now. But others have avoided me entirely, like I'm radioactive, like what I did makes me dangerous and unpredictable. I don't regret exposing what Patricia did. She used my father's death to manipulate me. She let me work myself to exhaustion while taking credit for my accomplishments. She made me believe I was valued and loved while laughing about me behind my back. But maybe my sister is right. Maybe there was a better way. Maybe I could have gotten justice without burning everything to the ground. Maybe I let my pain turn me into someone just as cruel as Patricia. I keep thinking about my father and what he would say if he could see all of this. He was such a gentle man, always believing in taking the high road and killing people with kindness. Would he be proud of me for standing up for myself, or would he be disappointed that I chose public humiliation over private resolution? I honestly don't know anymore. So I'm asking you, am I the asshole for forwarding that group chat to everyone in the company? Should I have handled this differently, or did Patricia get exactly what she deserved? Thank you so much for listening to my story. This has been one of the hardest things I've ever shared, and your support means the world to me. Please let me know in the comments what you would have done in my situation. If you have your own workplace horror story that you want featured in a future video, send it to us. We read every single submission. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss another story. Until next time, stay strong out there.